Hi there, we're back, and we are talking about some more rare and unusual characters at Disney World. The first one is Barbie. From 1994 to 1995, Barbie drove her glittery limo through Epcot's World Showcase. This was during a time in 1994 when Epcot decided to change their name to Epcot 94, and then in 1995 they changed it to Epcot 95. You know, in case you forgot what year it was. The toy company Mattel was a sponsor of It's a Small World, and since Barbie is owned by Mattel, they wanted to place Barbie in Disney World for her big 35. Barbie's turning 35. Barbie was named the Ambassador of Friendship at Epcot, which sounds like the name of a job you give somebody to do when you've ran out of jobs for people to do, but they just insist on helping. Barbie was named that because she represents different cultures around the world, just like Epcot does. But I also think it's a pretty good excuse for Mattel to get Barbie in Epcot. You could buy a birthday Barbie, and for a penny, you could also get the Barbie Birthday Party at Walt Disney World Epcot 94 video. Yeah, 1 penny. Back to Epcot Barbie. Barbie had a 20-minute stage show at the America Pavilion, where they now hold concerts. I won't talk about the actual show here because it probably deserves an entire video after seeing that it looks like this. But when Barbie and Ken weren't doing the show, you can meet them outside of her limo.
Now, please welcome Ken.
Also, you can meet Barbie's sister Skipper, who is also tagging along. And if you want to see this limo today, it's actually in the Volo Auto Museum in Volo, Illinois. Barbie didn't last long, and my guess is that people didn't want to have to dodge a pink limousine as they're halfway through their Drink Around the World experience. Or Disney realized how out of place it is. Either way, it seems like it would have been a fun time to experience. Now, if you saw my last video about rare characters, you know that Hollywood Studios was just the place to drop any and all characters from anywhere, such as Doug. No, not this Doug. This Doug. If you were a 90s to early 2000s kid, you probably watched the show Doug. I don't remember a single thing about the show except the fact that there was some purple and green colored people, but then Doug and other friends were normal human beings? So were those other people aliens or fully tattooed 12-year-olds? Either way, Doug had a musical stage show in Hollywood Studios from 1999 to 2001 called Doug Live. It's in the stage where the Frozen show is now, or its more proper, too long of a name title, for the first time in forever, a Frozen sing-along celebration. One day I'm going to make a video of every Disney title that just takes 2 breaths to say. Doug Live looks like your standard stage show musical, but Doug has super spiky hair that makes it look like he's in an ad for Got2b glue hair gel. Why is his hair so spiky? Okay, this is what the cartoon looks like. His hair is just a little fluffed up, a little spike. But then this is the stage show. But either way, you can meet Doug and Patty in person. But it wasn't the stage show real people, but it was the cartoons that you'd meet. So you could walk in, see the show, see real people, and then walk out and meet the cartoons. It's kind of odd. Now the next one takes us to Dino Land and Animal Kingdom. Now I've given Dino Land some crap on this channel before, but today I have to say some nice things. And it's so hard to say, but not everything in Dino Land is so bad. In 2018, Disney introduced Donald's Dino Bash, which brought a bunch of characters such as Chip and Dale, Donald, Launchpad, Pluto, and they brought them in dinosaur-themed outfits to the land for meet and greets and a dance party. The bash was to celebrate Donald finding out that his bird ancestors were dinosaurs. And if that isn't a great way to tie in characters to a land that needed more visitors, I don't know what is. I really like the bright greens and purples and oranges that this land now has. Plus, the chipmunks in dinosaur onesies is so adorable. Oh my gosh, it's so sweet! But I'm not here to talk about these dinos, but these dinos. This is the only photo I could find of these blow-up, hideous dinosaurs. The brown one is called Carnotaurus, and the other one's called Conniesaurus. Connie has the most luscious red lips of any dinosaur I've ever seen. I like it. They were out in 2014, and that's all I got on this one. There's really nothing else I found about these weirdos. But the next dino has a lot more meat. Lucky the dinosaur. Now Lucky is an 8-foot tall audio animatronic dinosaur that was in Animal Kingdom in 2005. Lucky is very impressive, with some people actually believing he was a real dinosaur. Really? You thought the dinosaur was real? Lucky was the first audio animatronic to move independently. His debut was at the Natural History Museum of Los Angeles on August 28, 2003. I'm curious why we haven't seen more animatronics walking around freely since Lucky was built 17 years ago. But I bet Disney's building something behind the scenes that's just gonna blow us away in a few years. Also, Lucky can make dinosaur sounds and sign autographs. Excuse me? This is when the robots take over. Lucky is a busy boy, being playtested in California Adventure, Animal Kingdom, and Hong Kong Disneyland. Playtesting is when Disney will test out an experience to see how guests react or how the actual experience reacts in real-life scenarios, like a test. Today, Lucky has found a home at Walt Disney Imagineering, but occasionally will be brought into the limelight for Adventure by Disney guests. Another dinosaur was Val, the pet velociraptor, in 2014. Haven't we learned you do not have a pet velociraptor? We've had 5 Jurassic Park movies and a 6th coming out soon that I am sure will be just as average as the last one. Val was only around from April 19th to May 3rd of 2014. The puppeteer's ankles were attached to the dinosaur's legs, and then the puppeteer would operate the mouth from inside. This dinosaur puppet wasn't that good at hiding the performer inside, so I think that may be a reason Disney hasn't let Val onto the streets anymore. I love the Muppets, you love the Muppets, who doesn't love the Muppets? They sing show tunes, Kermit's a top tier meme, and I especially love Muppet Vision 3D. Some people may say they need to replace the show since it's 30 years old. They're incorrect. So what's better than seeing the Muppets? Meeting the Muppets. Disney decided to do just that in the 1990s, but blow the Muppets up to about 6 feet tall. Now this human sizing of the Muppets started back in 1989. In Hollywood studios, there was a stage show called Hollywood's Pretty Women, and Kermit and Miss Piggy were in this show, and let me just say, they were stylin'. Look at that. There were also 2 other stage shows featuring the Muppets. Here Comes the Muppets in 1990, and Muppets on Location, Days of Swine and Roses in 1999, which ran for about 3 years. Both of these shows had the Muppets as walk-around characters, which were then used for meet and greets. You can meet Kermit and Miss Piggy up close and personal, and I prefer them at their original 2 to 3 feet height, because there's just something about Miss Piggy's eyes and Kermit's really large webbed feet that just, they spook me out. Jim Hawkins and Ben from Treasure Planet. Treasure Planet was a film from 2002 that didn't do that hot in the box office, even with an Academy Award nomination for Best Animated Feature. However, since its release, it has gained a cult following. Knowing they weren't a smash hit usually means a bye-bye to any theme park presence. However, they have defied the odds and made some theme park presences. Presences? Is that a word? More rare characters are seen in the theme parks overseas, such as in Disneyland Paris, you can meet Cusco in llama form and human form, and that's true about these Treasure Planet folk. In Disneyland Paris, it's not common to see Jim Hawkins and Ben, but they can be seen every once in a while. And then bringing it back to Disney World, these 2 were also found in Tomorrowland and Magic Kingdom. Jim was seen in Magic Kingdom more recently, like very recently, as of January 2020. There doesn't seem to be any footage of Jim in the parks after that, but the parks did close in March, and him showing up in the parks might mean that Disney is preparing him for something larger in the future, or that he was just out and about to make some more extra magic for guests. Still, very interesting, because if they've never had him in the parks before, why would they go through all the trouble just to do some extra magic for one day? But then going on to Ben, his appearance in the parks was very brief and very rare to find. I actually only found this one picture of Ben in Tomorrowland with no date and no other evidence of his presence. And that is 5 rare and unusual characters at Disney World. If you want to see more, let me know down in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, please, it helps me out a lot. If you enjoyed this video, check out the first one if you haven't, and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.